crap.
Did anyone hear me?
Oh, I was
I
so
feel like I'm
close
just getting it.
to capturing Ryan dropping his chocolate on the floor. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bold Prediction Wrestling Podcast, Week 6. Our 6th week in a row, guys. I am joined by my co-hosts,
Jesus, that's an
Ryan
accomplishment.
and Ryan. Say hello, boys.
Hello?
Hello, boys.
We're going to start a new sort of structure. We're going to start off with the news. Then we're going to go into This Week in Wrestling and just talk about, This Week in Wrestling. Then we are going to do a weekly discussion, which is going to change every week, a different topic. I'll tell you about this one when we get to it. Then we're going to play a game of Who's That Wrestler, where I think of a wrestler. These two have to ask questions, guess who it is, and then we'll go into our bold predictions, which for the first week I have not thought of yet. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're slacking.
I know, right? But we're going to start off with the news. I think the biggest one, Drew McIntyre. Obviously had to get pulled from the main event of Monday Night Raw due to him testing positive for COVID-19. It is the first time that WWE have acknowledged that COVID-19 exists. And Drew basically told everyone to, take it seriously. It's a real thing. We'll talk more about the replacement for Drew and that sort of stuff when we get to Raw. But what do you guys think about WWE actually acknowledging COVID now?
I think it's a great move. With their platform, people will listen and see. They should already see it's a threat because we've got nearly a year into it. But for those that are still breaking the rules and stuff, to see that it can affect anyone and someone as healthy and fit in the gym style as Drew McIntyre can get it. We all can get this, and it is still a very serious threat.
Yeah. Ryan?
Yeah, as much as we give them credit, but I feel like they didn't really have a choice at the same time. Considering it's your main champion, considering it's your main champion, you can't really brush under the carpet.
It's sort of it's good that they mentioned it finally, but at the same time, a lot of people, myself included, watch wrestling to get away from COVID.
Yeah.
And, everything's COVID, isn't it? I go to wrestling to get away from that. So I don't want to be watching wrestling and then bringing up COVID every 5 minutes. So I respect the fact they haven't mentioned it. And like you said, it fits into storyline. Well, they've had to make it fit into storyline. It's their top baby face, and it sends a powerful message. I think it was the right time to. I think they did right by what the situation was. Other news: Kofi Kingston is injured. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he could miss the Rumble.
Yeah.
This will definitely give Xavier Woods time to shine on Raw as a singles guy. Obviously, with Big E on SmackDown. Maybe Kofi returns in the Rumble and we get a standoff between the three of them. Ooh. I'd like to see that. What do you guys reckon?
Pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool. Or maybe they'll reunite in the Rumble. Possibly. I don't think they go against each other. But I would like a reunite of some sort.
When my pick was Big E to win the Rumble, a couple of months ago, I wanted Kofi and Big E to be the final two. And then be right, okay, well, we've got to do it now, haven't we? And then see how they actually show respect for each other at the same time as actually, it's Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another big thing that was in the news, Lita on her Twitch stream came out and said that if she didn't do the live sex celebration with Edge, she'd lose her job. Now, Ryan, I know you've got a lot to say on this, so the floor is yours.
I do. Right, glasses off because it's serious time now. So normally when we do these podcasts and Chad sends the agenda in, I just go off the cuff and I end up, when the podcast finished, I end up kicking myself that there should have been something I said that I didn't say, sort of thing. So for this, I thought it's a serious subject. I thought I'd do myself a little few notes ready, prepared, because this story's just peed me off. So I'm just going to read off there. So I'm not looking at you on screen. It's because I'm focusing on what I'm saying, but it's coming from the heart all the same. So I'd like to flag this story. Normally I'm on here making jokes and having a genuinely good time. However, this story struck me personally. Before I get into it, I'd just like to say I have stuck by the WWE, even through the good times and the ugly, and there's been plenty of ugly times as of recent. I stood by them when they pushed aside Daniel Bryan when he should have won the Rumble that year. When they made Jinder cut a racist promo on Japanese people. when they made a politically and morally wrong deal with Saudi Arabia, a 10-year deal. I might just like to add. Where am I? But this, I find this one really hard to even be a fan. Yeah, I'm ashamed, to be honest. So I've got two close people in my life who experienced something along these lines. So it really has struck me personally, this. Where am I? I need like a teleprompter in front of me. So ever since hearing this and knowing about this, what's happened to them in the past, I take this stuff very, very seriously. So let's not sugarcoat it. Let's say what it is. It is sexual harassment. And unfortunately, it is the normal these days. You can say, wait a minute, big dog, it happened in 2006, but that doesn't cut it. It still happened, and it still happens to this day. Check back to last summer, June 2020. We had the speaking out movement, where the whole wrestling industry was shook to the core with these alleged
allegations,
harassment story. Yeah, that's the one. So just let this sink in. What I found out researching this, I did not even know this. This struck me. AEW, Shakara, Impact, Major League Wrestling, National Wrestling Alliance, New Japan Professional Wrestling, Ring of Honor, obviously the WWE, several other indie promotions, and even in the wrestling journalism, all these have had cases of sexual harassment, which was in part of the Speak Out movement back in 2020. Just let that sink in. That's every single major player in the wrestling industry that's had this come out. And I just think this is unacceptable, and it does make me genuinely ashamed to be a fan. I don't know who's responsible for the particular story in question, but let's be honest, nothing gets past Vince McMahon. He has final say on everything. Not going to put the sole blame on him. Whoever came up with the story needs a fucking smack. I heard stories that Cena and Edge tried to shut it down, but they were met on deaf ears. In no way is it acceptable or just business. Check your facts. This is wrong. This is not just wrestling. We have seen it in the film industry as well. Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey. Is it Weinstein? That big fat fucking jail, essentially. This world has an undershadowed problem, and it's like enough is enough. In my book, any man who disrespects a woman can never be a real man. And to hang over her dream jobs, like you don't do this, you'll be fired, is just bottom of the line, lower the life, really. There's only one person that's below that category of people, and that's rapists, and even then they're in the same category. Let's not sugarcoat. Anyone who knew about this story or any other stories and didn't speak out, they're just as bad. And it's just sickening. It just makes me had enough. I've stood by them when they've gone to Saudi, when they've put the belt on Jinder, when they sidelined Daniel Bryan, but this is a bit too much to even.
It's a tough subject to talk about, that's for sure. It's if she said that she didn't want to do it, like you said, she said that she didn't want to do it, that should be it. That should be, and you said, people will be like, oh, it's 2006. It's still it still happened. There's some things that you like. Back in 2005, for example, calling people gay was an insult, but you wouldn't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
But back then it was not acceptable, but it was more common, more acceptable in a way. This has never been acceptable. This is not acceptable. Back in 2006, back in this year. I'd like to think that they'd know better than to do a storyline like that now.
Yeah, they hope so.
Yeah, they were talking about like last year with the Lashley wedding. They were talking about Rusev wanting sex in a tank and stuff like that. But I think that's the closest they've come to it. I think that if any wrestler, any performer, if anybody in any workspace is uncomfortable doing something and they're told to do it or lose their job, that's a serious issue that needs to be addressed. And the fact that it's told, like, she might have told other people, she might have opened up to other people. But that was 15 years ago. And it's the first time that we're hearing about it. Like, yeah, it must be so difficult to even admit that, to even talk about that. And at the time, she might not have thought, she might have thought, okay, this is business, this is the way it is. But it's still wrong. And it still needs to be addressed. It's still a serious issue.
100%. And it's coming normally each day. Like, stories coming out like Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, I mean, I can never get his name right. It don't matter because he's a prick anyway. But it's those with everyone does it from every race background or whatever. It's still a thing that happens, but it's coming out more and more that these men
in power
with money and like this false status of power.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people you look up to as well. Like there's a lot of people in the film. I'm part of the film industry as a student filmmaker, and like people, Harvey Weinstein, he's made some great films. He's been an inspiration to so many people. And then for this to come out, and then for that stories to come out that Hollywood knew about it the whole time, and they were paying off people to keep the silence. It's just absolutely sickening. And it's this false status of it's a small dick syndrome. Let's be honest. It is that status of I can do what I want. I've got money. She's not. You report me, your career's gone like that. That's the sort of thing that hung over him. It's just absolutely disgusting.
But that's the sort of thing they'll get away with. Because let's say, for example, let's say example this story we're talking about now. If Lita had said, no, I'm not doing it, and they were like, right, you do this or you're fired. If she took that to somebody else, the company has enough money to pay them off. And
that's what Weinstein would do.
That sounds stupid. That sounds horrible to say. It's like, oh, that won't happen. But that sort of stuff does happen. And then she's made out to be a liar, and then she loses her job, and then she loses all her confidence and everything else. And this stuff happens. This is a real life situation that happens. Like, fair play to Lita for powering through the rest of her career, even returning years later and stuff like that. Like,
still coming back to this day for the Rumbles and stuff, isn't she?
Yeah, like,
and all that stuff.
Respect to her. Respect. Anything else to add on that, guys? It's a bit of a difficult subject, that one, I know, but it needed to be spoke about. We needed to address it because it's something that bothers us here. So we wanted to talk about it. This week in wrestling. Let's move on to what has been going on. We're going to start with last week's Smackdown. Smackdown starts off with Roman Reigns calling out WWE official Adam Pearce. I'm going to go through the whole show, what happened, and then we'll talk about our highlights of the show. Obviously, we'll come back to Adam Pearce in a minute. Big E versus Apollo Crews in the Intercontinental Championship match. Big E wins just about. For a second, I thought he was going to lose. We got new Smackdown Tag Team Champions when Rudolph beat the Street Profits. Rey Mysterio. Then we hear that there's in the 5-man gauntlet match, it's been turned to a 6-man gauntlet match with Adam Pearce being in there as well. Winner, of course, faces Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. Rey Mysterio defeats Sami Zayn in the first round. Nakamura comes out, defeats Rey Mysterio. Nakamura defeats King Corbin. Nakamura defeats Daniel Bryan and then gives him a handshake afterwards, which is hinting towards a face turn, which I'd like to see. It's never too late to even push him for a potential 2-time Royal Rumble winner if the story happens. Adam Pearce comes out number 6. Roman and Jey Uso get involved, beat them both up, throw Adam Pearce's body over Nakamura. 1, 2, 3. Adam Pearce and Roman Reigns is confirmed for the Royal Rumble for the Universal Championship.
Yay.
That was Smackdown. I feel like I'm missing something, but that was Smackdown. Where do you want to start? Nice.
So start with Big E and Apollo, I think.
Let's start with Big E and Apollo.
Yeah, chronological order. I don't know how I feel about it because unless they're trying to build Apollo again, which is why they went with the near finish, I'm not too sure because considering it's Big E's first title defense, it's a bit of a strange one the way they booked it. But we'll have to see in the coming weeks where they go with it.
On Talking Smack, he was on there with Apollo Crews. So he was on there with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman was like talking to him like he did with Big E a few weeks ago. Like, you've got to do this, whatever. And Apollo Crews demanded a rematch for this week, but we'll get to this week later on. We'll probably get Apollo versus Big E at the Rumble or something. I'm not going to lie, I thought for a split second that Big E was going to lose the title on one of them falls. Obviously, it ended in a double pinfall. So Big E retained, and then Apollo Crews was like, "Nah, you don't want to win like that. Come on." So they had a rematch, and Big E won. But yeah, Apollo Crews is pissed off and kind of wants a rematch.
Also, if they could have made it, would have made him look weak, but then that could have been a start of maybe a heel turn
For
Big E.
I think he's gonna go heel.
Yeah.
See, I seen someone post on Twitter
talking smack bit with Paul
that they wanted Jey Uso to take the belt off, to cost Big E the belt, and then Big E go after Roman. It's just someone's theory on Twitter, but I wouldn't mind seeing that.
The only thing about turning Big E is there's not that many faces on SmackDown.
I thought we were not turning Apollo Crews.
No, Big E. Yeah, but you're right.
There's not that many high-profile faces.
Who's the biggest babyface on?
Owens.
Yeah, who's injured.
Jesus, yeah.
So you've got Owens, who's injured. Big E, you were talking about turning.
Yeah.
Potentially Nakamura, but you've still got to work to that.
Really. And Brian.
Brian as well, yeah.
There's not one that stands out.
No.
There's
not like a Drew McIntyre on this brand, is there? Like,
exactly. But they've got a lot of heels.
Yeah, they've got a lot of heels. Ryan, anything to add on Big E Apollo?
I think it's the perfect opportunity to turn him heel. Because when you're... Just hang on a sec. Apollo heel.
Okay.
Because I think it's sort of... I think it was last week, the seeds were there when he said to Big E, he was like, you only have that title because I helped you get the title, essentially, because he stopped Sammy from going backstage or whatever. And then watching his promo with Paul Heyman, I think Heyman were offering him advice or something.
Yeah.
Sort of teasing it a little bit. I just think as well, Paul Heyman is the perfect guy for talking smack. You get that guy and all that talent, just to get him in the same pitch as Paul Heyman and to go back and forth, it's just amazing. But I genuinely do think this is the time to turn Apollo heel.
I completely agree.
I think he needs
give Apollo a character. He hasn't got one, is he, really? He
had a little bit of a spotlight in summer, which was soon crushed.
Yeah, he was United States champion last year before he got destroyed by Bobby Lashley.
That seems like time ago, that now.
It does.
It does, doesn't it?
Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode beat the Street Profits to become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I don't want to talk about this because I don't like Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, but go on, guys.
No. I knew this was going to happen as soon as they announced it because they only had a match the other week.
Yeah.
So, and the Street Profits, the thing is, I love the Street Profits, but they haven't really had like this. Like you can keep them holding it, but they've not really had many legitimate challenges. They've just been facing the same teams over and over.
The issue is, there are no teams.
Well, that's actually
they've broke them all up.
So the only logical reason in it, is to change the belts over.
So who does Roode and Ziggler face now?
Well, they'll have a rematch, won't they? And then you're struggling.
Name a babyface tag team on SmackDown.
I mean,
Chad Gable and
Otis.
Yeah.
But again, that's two people that are stuck together. They broke up.
The Usos, but they're heel.
Yeah.
Or one of them's heel anyway. The other one we don't know.
That's literally it. I can't think of.
Yeah, you
can't. Was it heel?
So I think we all agree that the tag division needs something. See, I wouldn't even mind.
But how many years have we been saying this now?
Oh, since the brand split.
Oh yeah, I feel like we've been saying it for years. I feel like we've been saying this for years.
Unify the tag belts and have one set of champions that actually float. Did you see the pictures of Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander with the black and gold WWE tag team titles?
Yeah.
That was.
I don't think it do.
I wanted to bring that one back.
Yeah.
Onto the gauntlet match now. Obviously, Rey Mysterio beat Sammy. Nakamura beat everybody else until Adam Pearce beat him. Interesting to see where it goes. Woke up on Saturday morning, got a text off Ryan saying, Adam Pearce, really? But then when you watch it, it actually makes sense storyline wise. It's not like he's come out and been like, I'm going to challenge you at the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre, because I'm Goldberg. It actually makes sense. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing where they go and what they do with it. What do you guys reckon about the whole gauntlet match and then the...
I think I think it was a strong showing for Nakamura, something I think he needed, actually. Because obviously when it got announced 3 hours before SmackDown, and obviously me and you was like, oh, Nakamura probably, I think. And it was close. I think it was a good run for me. It took some big names like Bryan, a big one.
Bryan, Mysterio,
and he was clean as well.
The thing is, because I didn't watch it live, the Adam Pearce was a bit surprising. But then when you watch the show, it makes a lot of sense.
It's when you see the headline before the story, you're like, oh, really? But then storyline-wise, it worked out for the show.
And he didn't pin Nakamura clean.
No. Oh, that would have been...
You know, that'd be too much to handle.
He didn't really win.
He didn't roll him up or anything either, did he? He didn't do anything. You don't even think he hit.
No. So in a way, he's been given the win, which I don't mind because he's not beating anyone.
It's a lot better.
Yeah. The copy that the version I was watching, for some reason, I skipped the part when it was revealed why he was even in the match. So as I was sat watching SmackDown, 1 minute he was talking to Sonya Deville about the show. Yeah. And then like the next scene, it was like I heard Tom Phillips like, "Oh, this is now a looking forward to our main event as a six man gauntlet." I thought, what? 6-man gauntlet? You have just chucked him in out of no reason. But then later, after the show finished, it was Paul Heyman that I'd put him in or something. I don't mind it. I quite like the guy.
Sticking with Sonya Deville, what do you reckon about her new role here?
I like it. To be fair, she needed to do something.
I think it fits her character well as well. I think going forward, like seeing how she gets involved with storylines,
authority figure.
Seeing if she enters the Rumble or anything, like I think there's a lot to see what's going to happen. A lot of opportunity.
They can learn from what they did with Corbin when they made Constable Corbin, how bad that went, and not to do that with Sonya.
I was going to say, do we have to talk about that? Moving on to Monday Night Raw. Here we go.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Lacey Evans defeats Charlotte Flair and then goes back to the hotel with Ric Flair. Before that, we had Drew McIntyre come out and talk about his COVID. And before that, we had Triple H come out and get challenged by Randy Orton. Jackson Ryker defeated Jeff Hardy, and then Jeff Hardy defeated Elias. Keith Lee and Sheamus defeated The Miz and Morrison, then for some reason decided to fight each other, and Keith Lee defeated Sheamus.
That was really weird.
T-Bar defeated Xavier Woods. Bobby Lashley defeated Matt Riddle in what turned out to be a United States Championship match. Riddle then defeated MVP by disqualification. AJ Styles defeated Drew Gulak in a Drew Gulak qualifying match for the Royal Rumble. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. Triple H and Randy Orton traded haymakers before Alexa Bliss came out with a fireball.
Fireball.
A lot to take in there. Also, Drew McIntyre accepted Goldberg's challenge for the Royal Rumble. Start with Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair. Do you reckon we're going to get a live sex celebration next week between Ric Flair and Lacey Evans? Okay, moving on.
I sort of like it.
I do.
It goes with his character, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It definitely goes with the Ric Flair character, especially like to be like, you know, I'm going to cost my daughter and have this hot blonde chick back in my hotel with me, like, you know. But I don't want it to go too far, like we were saying earlier in the podcast. Yeah. Like, this is fine. I'm fine with these two, like, having this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know about Lacey Evans' child, because she got brought into a story last year or the year before. Like, Lacey Evans is married and has children, so I don't know what they think about her having one off with Ric Flair, like, but okay.
With a 70-year-old man.
Do you want to talk about Elias, Jeff Hardy, Jason Ryker?
Not really.
No.
I skipped all that, to be honest, because I've had enough of seeing Elias and Jeff Hardy. We've seen it since October.
Keith Lee and Sheamus teaming up to take on The Miz and Morrison and then fighting each other. It's not really actually explained why they fought each other, but
I think it was just filling time because they had a lot of COVID.
I was going to say it was a weird Raw because we had Jeff have 2 matches, Matt Riddle have 2 matches, Keith Lee and Sheamus have 2 matches. You can tell plans had obviously been changed because of the Drew COVID situation. It did feel like rushed and just a bit lazy.
Would it not have made sense if they'd have done Sheamus versus Keith Lee first, and then have Miz and Morrison come out, and then go into a tag match.
Yeah,
but that made much more
probably
sense.
would have made
they don't
more
have
sense.
logic. The writers don't have logic, right? So
no,
at least this way, it gave Keith Lee a clean beat over Sheamus again. Makes Keith Lee look a little bit stronger, I suppose.
yeah.
Maybe block the
Has
rope,
he been announced for the Rumble yet?
I don't think so. I don't think either of them have been announced.
I remember it. No.
T-Bar and Xavier Woods. Did you see Xavier Woods hanging upside down on the ropes, blown into his trombone? That was pretty cool. T-Bar won. There's not really much else to say.
I felt sorry for Xavier Woods.
This is what I mean about Raw. There's nothing exciting.
The difference in our tone between SmackDown and this is like completely different.
It's
Lashley,
hard to sit for a full Raw these days.
It is. Bobby Lashley defeated Riddle in a United States Championship match that wasn't even announced before the show. Like, surely that's something you want to promote. A championship match.
Yeah, exactly.
Bobby Lashley beat him with a hurt lock.
Rematch at the Rumble.
You reckon a rematch?
I don't think they will, mate. I think shove it Rumble, call it a do.
I don't want them to, but Bobby Lashley tweeted something the other day saying, someone had tweeted something about Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar as like a dream match. And he was like, yeah, I'll do that. Just let me finish this business with this Brock Lesnar wannabe first. So apparently it's not finished. Riddle then says, yeah, okay, I couldn't beat Bobby Lashley, but I can beat you, MVP. MVP comes down to have a match and then just ends in a DQ from a spear.
He wrestled in a suit as well, didn't he?
Pardon?
MVP wrestled in his suit.
I know, yeah. That's how confident he was. Drew Gulak backstage goes up to Adam Pearce and is like, I want to enter the Rumble. I want to enter at number 30. And he's sort of like, well, no. There's only 30 spaces and I've got 2 brands to cover. And he's like, well, AJ qualified. AJ named himself. Why can't I? And it's like, because AJ is actually talented and actually won matches. And then he was like, AJ said, who have you actually beaten? And then Drew Gulak's like, I can beat you. And then Adam Pearce said, if you beat him, you win. But AJ Styles won. Anything to add?
They should make it into a story where he keeps trying and trying to. I think it'd be like really cool.
Like an underdog, kind of.
And then have him
because he's that sort of guy, isn't he?
Have him qualify and then beat Santino's record for shortest time.
Yeah. That'd get fans behind him, to be fair.
It would. We'll end up with Drew Gulak
No
Mania.
time limit left, lads. We've got no time limit left.
No time limit.
No time.
Sweet. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke.
Mandy.
See, I just feel like we're just repeating old matches again.
Yeah,
it's just the same old turgid matches that no one cares about.
So Drew Gulak's not allowed to name himself for the Rumble, but Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke are.
Yeah, they can announce them. And
Nia Jax has been announced. Shayna is yet to announce. She has not officially announced herself. Yeah. She keeps teasing it, but she's not actually officially done it yet, which is interesting.
I mean, we've got 4 more weeks left. We have 3 or 4 more weeks left.
Main event, Triple H, Randy Orton. We predicted it last week that Triple H's retirement match should be against Randy Orton. Didn't think it was going to come 2 days later. Alexa Bliss returns, throws a fireball at Randy Orton, and Raw goes off the air.
Pretty cool.
Brilliant. That image was brilliant.
I don't really have anything to add.
Yeah.
The image at the end of her facing him and then hitting him with a fireball was quite cool.
Neither have I, Jerry.
But I think that was just it, to be honest. I didn't really have anything else to add on that segment.
Yeah.
No, I think
to see Triple H back in the ring.
It's a slowly, like, week on week, slowly carrying on the storyline until the Fiend comes back, because he can't come back straight away, can he, after being set on fire?
Yeah. Well, I was saying to you guys off podcast, why don't they just have Triple H come out and be like, no, Randy, I'm not going to accept your challenge, but I'll find you someone who will. And then bring out like a Damian Priest or something. Yeah. Like,
but do you know what's annoying? They always go back to the Stephanie remark, and it's starting to get on with it. It's just annoying.
The only person that did it and pulled it off was CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only one that pulled it off, right?
Anything else to add from Raw, guys? The Miz announced himself for the Rumble after a TMZ show or something. Moving on to Wednesday. Cool. Do you want to start with AEW or WWE?
AEW, because I have not watched NXT.
Great. AEW New Year's Smash Week 2, Night 2. We had Pac versus Eddie Kingston. We had Chuck Taylor versus Miro, and Miro just killed him, almost broke him in half. The New Year's resolutions for the Inner Circle, which I thought was absolutely amazing. The Elite versus Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Danny Limelight. We then had Jurassic Express versus FTR. I did not realize how young and how small Jurassic Express look. And then we had 2 championship matches. We had the NWA Women's Championship match, Serena Deeb versus Tay Conti. The wrong person won in that match, in my opinion. And then we had a TNT Championship match between Darby Allin and Brian Cage. But kicking off at the beginning...
Forget about that definitely not awkward interview with Cody Rhodes.
Oh, the
waiting room.
The waiting room. See, I like the waiting room on Dark. It's definitely a way to forward stories, but on AW. We'll talk about that first. So she has an interview in the waiting room with Cody Rhodes, and then out comes Shaquille O'Neal's bitch. I don't know. So she comes out and she's sort of like, all right, well, I was meant to fight Brandy, but she's off having a baby, so she's not going to be here for 9 months. So who can I fight? And then Red Velvet steps up, but it was just really awkward, the sort of stuff she was saying, sort of stuff that Britt Baker was saying to Cody. It was like, oh, any New Year's resolutions to make no more mistakes, like that one on your tattoo. And it's like...
She was a bit too enthusiastic for what it were. She's a bit annoying.
I've seen the waiting room on Dark, and it's a lot better. I didn't really enjoy this week's.
Yeah. It's a bit cringe. I thought it was cringe.
I think it's meant to be, but not that much.
Yeah.
No, I think you covered it there, really.
Pac versus Eddie Kingston.
Actually, a really good match, to be fair.
I really enjoyed this as well. Obviously, Pac had the Lucha Bros with him. Eddie Kingston had Butcher Blade and the Bunny, who got involved quite a bit. Finished with a Black Arrow, and I really enjoyed it, to be fair. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was a nice opener. Like, set the tone for the rest of the evening.
Night,
it's
what you want, isn't it? You want a nice solid match to open the show.
Yeah.
Not Lacey Evans versus Charlotte Flair.
No.
Miro breaks Chuck Taylor in half. I don't know what it's called in his accolade. It's still the accolade. That accolade looks so much more dominant. I've not seen it look like that
brutal
since he had it on Kalisto. Like, he looks like he's about to break him in half. It's amazing.
Yeah, because Cena was the first one to break out of it, weren't he? Like, not to...
Yeah.
Probably.
Was it Cena?
But what do you think of, like, Miro's character and what he's up to?
I like it.
How dominant
really
he
like
looks?
it. I think it's something different from his previous character, Rusev. It's a lot different, but he's still got that mean streak in him as well at the same time.
Yeah. Ryan?
His theme song's like a watered down version of what it was in WWE, though, because I was like, yeah. But I don't know, he's Bulgarian, isn't he? So it makes sense that he keeps like the flag colours and stuff. So I dig it.
And now, possibly my favourite segment of the whole week, the New Year's resolutions for the Inner Circle. The first thing that comes to mind when I hear that is Jake Hager going championships over and over again.
I thought you were going to say you're a tag team slut.
Oh, Sammy Guevara calling Chris Jericho a tag team slut. We're going to have a triple threat next week between Chris Jericho and MAF, Santino and Ortiz, Hager and Guevara.
I can't wait for that, man.
No, it's going to be amazing. The winning team becomes the official tag team of the Inner Circle.
Hopefully Jericho and MJF, man.
But just Jake Hager going championships. I thought it was just amazing. What's your New Year's resolution? Championships. So Sammy Guevara said, hang on, Chris Jericho, you're teaming with everybody. He goes, you teamed with me. We were what were they? The
sex
sexy
gods, wasn't it? Italian sex gods. I don't know what it was.
Less sex gods. He's teamed with MJF. He's teamed with Snoop Dogg. So then we have that match next week, which I'm really looking forward to.
Oh,
I want it to be See, this makes sense. This reminded me at the time of this time last year. We had AOP with Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. And Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy became the tag champs when they have a tag team there.
Tag team, literally, yeah.
These actually discussed that, and they're having a match to determine that, not just
we'll give
it to them too. These two are just bodyguards now. Big difference. Big difference.
Yeah.
Then we have the Elite, which is obviously Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson.
That were
and Kenny Omega.
Amazing.
It was nice to see them.
That was so good.
It was nice to see them. After the match, John Moxley comes out, I believe. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
John Moxley comes out, and then the Young Bucks come out, and basically just have a brawl. And then Omega and Callis just walk away.
Do one.
They have got a match this week, today, when the podcast goes up.
Yeah.
Rich Swann, Moose, Chris Sabian, I don't know, someone else against Omega, Gallows, and Anderson, which would be quite cool. That's on the Impact. I can't remember the name.
It is. Yeah. It's that Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill. That's the one. That's on tonight.
What a great name for a pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's almost up there with
And
Great Balls of Fire.
Were bad.
Then we have Jurassic Express versus FTR. I like that member of Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy. I didn't realize how small he was.
Yeah.
I looked it up, and one of them's 23 and one of them's 24. But he looks like, I know they say anybody younger than you, they're about 12. He does look about 12. He does look about 12. I was honestly in shock when I saw his age. But no, they're really good. Taking on FTR, formerly known as the Revival. Good match. FTR obviously win. Anything to add, guys?
No, right result,
I did have something
right result.
to add about the Elite part.
Sorry, go on.
When Callis, they were backstage before, and Kenny was like, "Oh, we come out together, we can do the free thing," and then Callis was like, "Nah, they're the Young Bucks. They'll come out after us," sort of thing. I actually fell for that. Not gonna lie, I thought, why has he done? That's a bit of a weird booking direction. That makes no sense. And then it made sense, and he's like, Kenny Omega's best friends, and I genuinely thought what was he called?
Matt and Nick.
Young Bucks were gonna come out. Yeah, sounds like two EastEnders brothers, don't they? Matt and Nick Jackson. Yeah, I expected them to come down, but I thought it cool to see the Good Brothers again. I actually fell for it as well.
After that, we had the first of two championship matches. We had Serena Deeb taking on Ty Conti for the NWA Women's Championship match. It wasn't a long match.
No.
Unfortunately, I think it was the right choice. I love Ty Conti. I think she's amazing, but I think that keep the championship on Serena Deeb, get her actually shown she is the champion. And it's also a good exhibition match for Ty Conti as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're in the main event.
Absolutely.
TNT champion match. Darby Allin versus Brian Cage. Already,
crazy.
15, 16 days in. Match of the year potential right there. I loved this match. 100%. I loved it. Ryan, talk about it.
I didn't realize how crazy Darby Allin, the spots he was taking when Cage threw him from the fucking ring. And
through the barricade,
it just imploded.
Yeah,
I love him. He's amazing. He's so cool. And I called it. If you go back 2 weeks ago, when our fellow former member Louis predicted Cage to win, I said, nah. What'll happen is Team Taz will try and get involved. Lights out. Sting's there. Sting helps him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Really cool. Really cool.
Ryan?
No, I agree. I agree with what Ryan just said. I really like the character as well, and I feel like we're going a good run now. And obviously, he's got to lead. He's got to lead something with Sting, surely.
Yeah,
I can't.
What a match, honestly. I just can't.
I can't
give it time. Give it time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't need to rush it.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Moving on to
no rush, slow touch.
NXT. Ryan Taylor, have you watched NXT?
I've seen bits of it, yeah.
Okay, so just me. Candice LeRae defeated Shotzi Blackheart. Pete Dunne confronted Finn Balor, and him, Lorcan, and Birch decided to start beating up Finn Balor. Then the Undisputed Era came out. We had the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic start. We had the Grizzled Young Veterans defeating Everrise. We had MSK, formerly known as the Rascals from TNA, I believe, defeating Jake Atlas and Isaiah Swerve Scott. And in the main event, we had the Undisputed Era defeat Breezango in what I thought was a really good match. Also on the show, we had North American champion Johnny Gargano defeat Dexter Lumis in a non-title match. We had Xia Li destroy somebody in literally seconds. And after the main event / during the main event, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch came out and started beating up Kyle O'Reilly because he's got a poorly jaw, I believe, sore jaw. A lot happened. I really enjoyed it.
Wow, that went over everyone's head.
What did you say? Sorry.
I said, "Oh, really?"
Oh, really? O'Reilly. But yeah, I really enjoyed the show, to be honest.
I think with NXT, I think it's very rare they don't put on a good show.
Riley?
Yeah, I just think it's very going up with AEW, especially with that main event. Like,
exactly, it's difficult because the thing is, AEW is its own thing. That's its only show, whereas with WWE, NXT, you'd say
it's third brand. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it shouldn't be really because it's what it puts on, but in the eyes of the company, it's third.
Any predictions on who's winning the Dusty Cup?
I just think it's hard to watch NXT.
Okay, Ryan.
Like, I'm just gonna squeeze in.
No, it's fine. Go on.
You know, like the Thunderdome. Ooh. The Thunderdome. It works in an arena. When I watch in New Year's Evil, I found it hard to, because whatever venue it is they're in, it's too small for the Thunderdome. It doesn't feel right.
They're in the
like
Performance Center.
Really?
Yeah.
Because the Thunderdome doesn't match it. Sorry, but I can't.
Well, NXT always have a small.
It's got to look good to want to watch. Yeah,
that's true.
The Thunderdome shouldn't use the Thunderdome in that small capacity because you can't. It's not the same anyway because no fans. But keep the Thunderdome for the arena because it doesn't work for me anyway. That's why I just stopped watching, to be honest.
Yeah, I watched NXT first before AEW, just because my family prefer NXT as well, especially because my daughter, I'd rather watch NXT because it's more family friendly.
Roman Reigns.
It's more family friendly, but then I go on and watch AEW, and it's like I enjoy both of them. I'm not one side or the other. I enjoy them both.
Yeah.
The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Any predictions? You got that MSK,
I think
that
two
new
women
team.
will win it.
You think who?
Oh, right, you're on about the male one. I thought you were on about the female one, so I'm gonna come up with something clever. Like I think two women are going to win it. But if it's the male one, I think two males are going to win it.
Great. I think the MSK. I didn't know who they were. They came out and I was like, who are these? But apparently they're the Rascals from TNA, I believe. And it was a good, decent match. I can't tell you their names, but I enjoyed it. Obviously, Undisputed Era, Breezango, great match as well. I enjoyed that. Seeing as you two haven't watched NXT, there's no point in really sticking around on it for too long. So let's move on to NXT UK.
Oh,
Walter defended his United Kingdom Championship against A-Kid.
Are we actually going to cover it? All right, okay.
Just the main event. Defended against A-Kid. A-Kid is not. A-Kid is their name. He's not just A-Kid. Moving on to SmackDown tonight or tomorrow when this goes live.
We're in the Thunderdome for it, baby.
Roman Reigns and Adam Pearce set for a Universal title contract signing. Who's going through a table?
Adam Pearce.
Jey
Uso. Good answer. We have Jey Uso taking on Nakamura.
Oh, interesting.
Mysterio taking on King Corbin. And I believe there was something else, but that's all that they've got.
Who's that taking on Corbin? Is that Big E?
Ray.
Boyaka. 619, not been seen in time.
So yeah, that's really it. And then on 205 Live, which but I actually like this. 205 Live are hosting 2 of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matches.
Oh yeah, so they're trying to get more viewers in then.
But I think it's a good idea. Like they've got this show, use it.
Yeah.
They do have Killian Dane on it, who is not 205 though, so
no, that doesn't make any sense.
Very, very contradicting.
He's a big dude.
But yeah. Okay. Just bear with me. Right, we will move on to this week's discussion. Now, I haven't told you what I want to talk about this week, have I? I'd like to talk about Seth Rollins because he was set to return last week, the week before, and he just didn't.
Oh, yeah.
They just changed plans for whatever reason. What do you think of Seth Rollins as a performer, as a character, and what do you think he should do when he returns? Ryan
Absolute
Taylor.
legend.
I love the guy. I've always loved the guy. Ever since he was Tyler Black in NXT, but then obviously I didn't follow it NXT as much then. So I really, when I was in the Shield and the debuted, I've just always liked him. And obviously the Authority stuff, like I wasn't a big fan of it, but I understood it. And then obviously when he returned after that massive ACL injury, like it's just gone bleats and bounds from then. I do like the Messiah gimmick. I do think it's done good things, but I don't. Can you call it a success? Because he's not won a high profile feud as the Messiah.
Did he even fight before Ray?
It was Drew, it was Kevin Owens.
Oh, well, I mean, God, that was a Mania, and then it was Drew.
He's lost Drew, he's lost to Owens, lost to Ray and Dominic.
He's fighting Samoa Joe this time last year.
Yeah, it's like the character.
He lost to Buddy Murphy as well.
And Buddy Murphy, yeah. Like I like the character, I love the character, but in terms of execution of feuds, it's not been successful in my eyes.
Yeah, especially his ending on Survivor Series.
So maybe this break that he's had, obviously on paternity leave, maybe it's what he needs. Maybe a little break and come back, and he maybe even hold the IC title.
Does he come back as a face or a heel?
I think he's got to come back as a heel. I don't know how you can do the Messiah as a face.
It needs.
He turned on Smackdown to answer for. He sacrificed himself for
the greater good.
Yeah.
I think they need to bring him back as a face because, like we were saying earlier, there's no big baby face.
No.
Now imagine.
But imagine this Roman as the heel versus a Messiah face Rollins. Like it writes itself that.
Now imagine that at Mania.
Because then you could have Roman saying, or like you could say like you could go from years back to say you put the seeds in my mind for this when you turned your back on me and and all that and you made me who I am now. You could maybe spin it that kind of way, like with a bit of history.
I know we've seen Roman and Seth loads of times before, but these characters, this would be just thinking about it, it'd be good.
I love it.
Ryan?
Yeah, just same. Maybe I don't know what you do. I think he obviously to keep up with continuity, he needs to answer for what he did at Survivor Series, where he just he tagged himself in from Owens, and he just got down on his knees and took a pinfall. I think that were obviously for something. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to turn him in face. I think he's a great face and great heel. So I would like to maybe see him versus Big E at Mania for the IC title. I think that'll be a good opponent for Big E.
That would be good. When I'm thinking of Seth Rollins now, I'm thinking big return, world title. But reality, there are other names that could be against him. Obviously, Bryan, Nakamura. So I'd like to see him mid-card. I just don't want to be bored by him. Because the Messiah stuff, like, how long did it go on with Rey Mysterio? Too long.
Oh, too long.
I don't want it to just go on forever and ever and ever.
Too tedious. Too tedious.
It was. Right, okay, we're going to move on to Who's That Wrestler? So it's like Pokemon. Who's that Pokemon? Who's that wrestler? So I'm thinking of a wrestler. And you take it in turns asking questions. Whoever gets the actual wrestler right wins a cookie. We'll keep track and we'll see where we are at the end of the year. Ryan Sutcliffe.
I'm actually really hungry.
We're going to start with Ryan Taylor. So it's somebody in wrestling.
Oh, I've got a pick. Oh, right, we're all doing it.
Hello.
So you can ask. No, you ask me questions.
Oh, right. Yeah, get you right. And it could be anyone. It could be anyone from history or currently active. All right. Are they currently active in WWE?
If I'm currently active,
They've had a match within the last year.
Yes. Wait, did you say currently active in WWE or currently active?
Oh. In WWE.
Yes. Ryan? Sutcliffe?
Are they male?
Yes. I had to think about that.
Has the superstar held a belt within the last year?
Yes. The one that they hold their trousers up with.
Championship belt.
You mug. Is it Randy Orton?
No.
He's got go straight in there.
Yeah.
Has this superstar changed brands
Yes.
within the last year? Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
That's a good question.
Was the title he won a tag team championship?
Yes.
I've sussed you.
So
Is
it's
it Big
one.
E?
So it's 1 out of 4 then, really, isn't it? Go on, Ryan.
Is it Big E? Big E.
Big E hasn't swapped brands this year.
Yeah, he has.
No, he hasn't.
Oh no, he didn't, did he? Oh no, he didn't.
So no.
Is it Montez Ford?
No.
Oh.
Friggin' hell.
But it's not going to be Dawkins because he hates Dawkins, so it's not going to be him.
Yeah. Ryan,
Doesn't even know
it's
who they
so
swap
obvious.
with.
Like, who's left?
Is he 3 names it could possibly be?
No, it's not.
Literally.
I know.
This is embarrassing.
Is it Robert Roode?
What?
He hasn't swapped.
How are you not getting this?
I don't know.
How are you literally?
So what have we narrowed it down to? They've held a
You don't
title.
want to know.
They've swapped brands.
Oh,
they've held a tag title and they've swapped brands this year. No, it's not him.
Oh, I know it is. I know it is.
Ryan Sutcliffe.
Is it Xavier Woods?
No.
Is it Kofi Kingston?
Well, it's only one other, isn't it?
Yes. I was going to say Kofi before you said Xavier, though. As soon as I started thinking it in my head, I was like, oh, it's Kofi.
So we're going to be doing one of these each week. Ryan Taylor is 1-0. On Tuesday, we do have a quiz going up that I hosted, Royal Rumble, 30 questions, Ryan v. Ryan. That is going up on Tuesday, so be sure to check that out. Ball predictions. What have you got?
Oh, no, this is.
This is
I sort of got one throughout the show, to be honest. I'll go first, I guess. I think Seth Rollins will return at the Rumble. I think that's why his return got cancelled.
At the Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
In the Royal Rumble match, yeah.
In the men's or women's, just to be sure.
You one better. The non-binary one.
Okay.
No, the men's.
I've just thought of one, actually, now I just mentioned the Rumble. If you don't mind me going next.
That's fine.
I'm gonna say it's gonna look like Adam Pearce versus Roman at the Rumble, and I think Adam Pearce is gonna get taken out by someone. Could be Roman, could be Jay, could be anyone, could be Jimmy, and I think Kevin Owens will come out last minute.
So you think we're gonna get Owens versus Roman at the Rumble?
Roman, yeah.
I love that. I sort of want to see Pearce though.
Yeah, I kind of.
The only reason I'm saying that is because they're doing a contract signing tonight, so I'm a bit like.
Yeah.
If you're gonna like fake it, you wouldn't have a contract signing. So the only other way around that is by taking him out on the night.
Yeah.
I really don't like. I'm usually right here with a bold prediction. Like I've usually thought of it through the week. It's been on my mind all the time, but I really just can't. I'm trying to think what everybody's up to. What's the Miz up to? Oh, it's Money in the Bank.
Fail cashing again. There's your bold prediction.
He's going to cash in tonight on Roman Reigns.
That's what you watched in the Saudi match.
R-Truth will lose the 20-foot.
Is he still holding it?
Yeah, he won it back. The Boogeyman helped him win it back.
Oh yeah.
The Boogeyman.
I think we will get a full Apollo Crews heel turn tonight on Smackdown. Tonight. So last night when this goes live.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm going with. Full on heel turn. Either that or a live sex celebration from Rick and Lacey. No, because they did what did they do? Drake Maverick and his wife, consummation of the marriage.
Yeah.
In the hotel.
See,
In the hotel.
That's again, that's
not
different.
as bad.
That's nowhere near as
As
bad.
what happened before.
Consummate in the marriage.
That's the one, yeah. Anybody else got anything to add? For anything that's happened, anything that's coming up, anything?
Just looking ahead to the Rumble, really. I mean, I really, because usually there's like a nailed on Rumble winner. Like you kind of gauge.
Yeah.
Like, it's never certain that you know, but this year I can't pick it.
It's usually between like 2 or 3, but I think at the moment it could literally be anyone.
It could be anyone. It could be someone that's not even been announced yet.
It could be.
I've got my money fixed already, me.
I think the 4 that I thought Big E for so long. I thought Keith Lee for so long. As soon as he got announced, I thought Daniel Bryan. And I'm thinking Nakamura as well after what happened.
Or Edge.
Edge. It could honestly be anyone. It could be Roman. Roman could lose to Adam Pearce and then enter number 30 in the Rumble and win it. Women's, any early predictions for the women's?
Rhea Ripley.
I think that's who I want. I think that's going to be my prediction.
I've jumped on the bandwagon.
I want her to eliminate Charlotte Flair last.
It's the perfect time for her.
Definitely. Bianca Belair, another name.
Becky Lynch.
Lana. Returns number 30, eliminates Nia Jax.
Oh, Stephanie McMahon.
On that bombshell. But yeah, so this is going up on Saturday, the 16th of January. On the 19th, on Tuesday, we have a Royal Rumble quiz, which you can play along with in the comments or, let us know, all that jazz. And then we'll be back next Saturday with another Bold Prediction Wrestling podcast. Yeah, I've been your host, Chad, joined by Ryan and Ryan, and we'll see you next week. Cheerio.
Thanks for watching.